It's time to strap in and get ready for the front stretch. Presented by Joe's Karting. Dan and Dirk are live in the studio today, ready to hear from you at 402-573-0590.
Well, good morning to you, race fans, and welcome to the front stretch, presented by Joe's Karting at Council Bluffs, online, joeskarting.com. Fast-paced, white-knuckle, indoor racing, where that would have been a beautiful thing yesterday. It'd have been...
I hope they were busy.
They probably were. Brave the construction. I was talking with a couple of my friends over there in that area, and that whole area is a little bit torn apart. But the good news is it's really easy, quick detour. You could still make it easy access into Joe's Karting. It just looks severe because about 20 feet away from the intersection for Joe's Karting, they are completely redoing the sewer system there.
Yeah, it's just right there at the entrance. So all I ever do when I get off the interstate over there at the Ameristar exit is I just go straight across Eddie's and come around that back way instead of doing the other way. Yep,
good call. Get over to Joe's Karting today, 23rd Avenue at Council Bluffs, and help celebrate Independence Day with a little white-knuckle indoor karting racing in Council Bluffs. Just across the river, you can get all the information you need online at joeskarting.com.
Speaking of white-knuckle, how about Brian Scott's white-knuckles last night? We need to create a roller coaster ride like that, dude.
Yeah, that would be fun. I think we could make a couple of dollars off of that.
I was going along, and all of a sudden, it was so smooth.
Turn number 1, we're going to recap Daytona. Turn number 2, we'll talk with James Hinchcliff to get you set for the Iowa Corn 300 at Iowa Speedway. Turn number 3, we'll talk with local AMOD driver Jesse Dennis out of Corning, Iowa about his $10,000 win on Friday night at Farley Speedway. And then in turn number 4, we will talk about some news and notes. We'll take some phone calls. We'll give away some tickets. We'll preview Kentucky. We got a lot of show to go, and we have a lot of tickets to give away for the Iowa Corn 300. In fact, we have 5 pair we're going to try to give away this morning, but that usually takes up quite a bit of time doing those phone calls, so we're going to try to give them away as much as possible so that we can get you over and watch what is probably one of the better races at Iowa Speedway all year long.
Well, I know the drivers. I mean, we've interviewed 2 of them, and we interviewed Marco Andretti last year. All the drivers love that track.
Yeah, that's a unanimous thing. Whether it's NASCAR, whether it's IndyCar Series, ARCA, they all love that track because it kind of harkens back to an older day of tracks where it was. You got to be up on the wheel. It's a fast, short track, and it's got characteristic with the bumps, and you really got to know how you can move along those bumps and not upset your car.
Yeah, I mean, they like I said, every driver that we've talked to that's been on that speedway really likes it. And what do they bill it as? The fastest short track in America?
Yep. Let's kick it off with doing a couple of tickets. We'll give away a pair of tickets to the Iowa Corn 300 at Iowa Speedway. Last weekend, we tried to do some IndyCar trivia, but I think IndyCar is just kind of at a point now where not a lot of people are watching it, but we're going to change that next weekend. By the way, that's next Sunday. We're going to be live that day, and then we're all headed over to go watch that race at Newton, Iowa.
And these tickets do come with the ARCA tickets for Saturday?
They do. Absolutely do.
And
so you can make a weekend of it.
And there's 2 races on Sunday. There's an Indy Lights race before the big IndyCar race, and actually there was a 3rd race in there, the Mazda race, but they evidently didn't get enough entries, and so they did go ahead and cancel that one.
402-573-0590 if you want to get on the phones, you want to try to win some tickets. A pair of tickets to the ARCA race on Saturday and a pair of tickets to the Iowa Corn 300 on Sunday. Green flag on Sunday scheduled for about 4:15, so we should be home early enough on Sunday night to be able to get to work the next day. But we'll play some NASCAR trivia or some local dirt track trivia, whichever you want to pick from. 402-573-0590. While we're waiting for a phone call to get ready to go, let's talk a little bit about Daytona. We may interrupt and do a trivia question, but I don't think anybody was getting around Brad Keselowski last night. He had about a 8 to 10 foot wide bumper.
Well, he's become very good at riding the wave, so to speak, out front and staying in front. Even though they were trying to back up on him and get runs, he held him off.
He did a very good job. I was surprised to find out that was his first win at Daytona, although he's won in dominating fashion a couple of times at Talladega, just never at Daytona.
Well, and his very first win driving for James Finch was at Talladega.
Yeah.
So
Kyle Busch, Trevor Bayne, Joey Logano, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. round out the top 5. Kyle Larson, Austin Dillon, Greg Biffle, Clint Boyer, and Michael McDowell are your top 10 finishers. A little bit of heated conversation afterwards between Kurt Busch and Joey Logano. Kurt said he just flat drove through me rather than bumping me to the lead or to the front. And so there was some conversation about, you think maybe he drove through you because his teammate was leading? And he said, last lap, it's so chaotic out there. I think he was just a little too eager to get to the front and decided I need to be out of the way. Yeah. So, wonder if maybe you see a little bit of payback in the coming weeks. We'll see. You never know. Maybe a fist fight after all. John West Townley and who was it? Spencer Gallagher. Of all people, by the way, the guy we interviewed at Kansas Speedway, probably one of the nicest guys we've met. Hilarious, goofy,
but he
funny.
Didn't start the fight.
That's true. They were fined $15,000 and $12,500. I think John West got 15 and Spencer got 12,500. So maybe we'll see a few more fist fights because these NASCAR drivers know what the penalty's going to be now.
Yeah, but that was the worst WWE thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, that was pretty. That was pretty pathetic.
At least John West tried to land a few punches there and maybe make it look a little bit like a hockey fight. But
before we get to the big one, let's talk to Jeff on line number 1, and we're going to try to give away a pair of tickets today to the Iowa Corn 300. Jeff, how you doing this morning, sir?
Doing okay.
Where are you calling from?
Omaha.
Oh, okay. The farthest away we can get. Right in our backyard. Jeff, do you want to do NASCAR trivia or dirt track trivia?
Oh, gosh, I'd have a much better chance with NASCAR.
NASCAR? Okay. Let's see.
Gonna do some NASCAR math this morning. What are we going to do there, Dano?
I haven't done this math very well in the last little bit, so
I'll make sure the math is good if you pick the numbers.
We're going to do an easy one. Dale Jr. divided by Kevin Harvick equals what driver? You can talk it out if you want to. So Dale Jr.
Joey Logano.
Hey, good job.
There you go. And Dan even got it right. That's even more of a surprise.
All right, hang on the line. We're going to get your information. You'll just have to swing by the station this week and pick up your tickets.
All right, man.
Have a good
Thanks
time.
a lot for listening. Man. And while we got another second, let's switch over to Bullet. Hey, Bullet, one of our favorite callers on the air a lot. How you doing, sir?
Good morning. How you boys doing?
Good. You want to do NASCAR or dirt track trivia?
NASCAR.
All right. Let's do an actual trivia question. And I've asked it before, so you should be able to get it because you're probably one of our more dedicated listeners. But what car number in NASCAR holds the record for the most wins?
Ooh. Oh, boy. You might have me on this one. What car number? Let's see.
What car number holds the record for the most wins?
Shoot. I'm just going to shoot one out there. 24.
No. It's actually the 11.
Man,
I love
DW.
that. I love that question because it's got 204 wins. Who else had that? It was
well, Richard Petty's got 200 wins.
Right. He's got 199 with the 43.
Right.
And then he's got a couple with the 41.
Just one.
And the 42. So he won 8 times with those. So that's where he holds the record for most wins in NASCAR. But because he drove the 43 or the 41 and 42 at different times, it's actually the 11 that holds that. Who was the other one that drove the 11? I'm trying to think of. Was that?
Oh, there's been a lot of people drive the 11.
Junior Johnson drove the 11 for a while,
Cale
right?
Yarborough.
Yeah.
Darrell Waltrip. Yeah, there's a lot of guys running that one. Darrell Waltrip, Cale Yarborough.
All right, Bullet, hang on. We're going to try to get you another trivia question later on in the show. All right, bud?
All right, sounds good.
Thanks for calling in.
All
right, the big one happened last night back at Daytona, and 22 cars were involved. I think 10 of them ended up going up behind the wall.
19 involved and roughly 10. That's what they listed on the television channel anyway, was 19 were involved.
Looks like Buescher, Harvick, Smith, Scott, Menard, Johnson, and McMurray were not able to come back out after that accident. DiBenedetto, Elliott, looks like these guys were involved in it too. Came out, tried to make some laps and try to get some points back. Casey Kane, Martin Truex Jr. was involved in it. Matt Kenseth, Danica Patrick. So that was a big wreck, and that took out a big chunk of the field and kind of a big chunk of contending drivers. You talk about Harvick and Johnson. Menard has been up there.
Well, it also really tightened up the rookie race.
Yeah.
With Elliott going out. I mean, he came back out and ran some laps and gained a few got a few points back, but that was a big change.
Yeah, and Ryan Blaney ended up getting the best rookie finish last night, so that big wreck meant that things kind of settled down for quite a while during the race, and then we had the last couple of, and I guess Tony Stewart was doing very well trying to race his way into the chase. When he started it, before the race got started at Daytona, he was 9 points out of the chase, out of that top 30 spot, ends up finishing 25th. Oddly enough, he ends up finishing way in front of 31st and 30th, so I think he actually jumped up into like 25th or 26th in the championship point standings. So for now, barring any injuries or any odd things that are happening in some bad races, he should be locked into the chase. Well, not locked into the chase, but he should be comfortably in the chase. He's just got to keep knocking those good finishes down.
He'll be able to do that. He's I don't know if he's got a real good track record at Kentucky, but he's always been pretty good at Richmond, which is the last race. And he's got another Bristol coming up. He doesn't mind Bristol.
Mm-hmm.
Even though at Bristol, he's hit and miss. He's had some very good races there, and then some total garbage races there.
Which that could happen at Bristol very, very quickly.
Yep.
Kentucky's next up on the line. We're going to talk about that in turn number 4. Also, we'll be giving away more tickets. Let's take a quick break. We're going to come back in turn number 2. We're going to talk with James Hinchcliff to get you set for the Iowa Corn 300 coming up at Iowa Speedway next Sunday. We'll be back here on the front stretch.
Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs has taken a page out of IMCA's rulebook and gone crate. These brand new low-emission engines will still have you white-knuckling it all through the Metro's fastest indoor facility. Joe's Karting is now friendly for all skill levels with their brand new Honda-powered engines. It's time to get to Joe's today and find out what drivers like Jack Dover, Shaylee Bate, and Andrew Kosiski have known for years. Located in Council Bluffs and online at joeskarting.com. That's karting with a K.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak and Lube.
Quaker Steak and Lube is the official watering hole for the front stretch and the best place to catch all the NASCAR action today. Open at 11 a.m. with delivery available to Council Bluffs.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak and Lube.
My kind of road trip is a little different. Sure, it's got hours of driving with plenty of pit stops, but it's not for minivans. And this drive is one journey that's all about the destination. This is my road trip. This is my Speedway. July 29th, experience the NASCAR K&N Pro Series Casey's General Stores 150, presented by Vatterott College. July 30th is the NASCAR Xfinity Series US Cellular 250. Tickets start at $15 only at Iowa Speedway.
We're hooked up in turn 2 and still showing the green flag on the front stretch.
Welcome back to the front stretch, heading into turn number 2, and it's time to talk with an IndyCar driver that's going to be at Iowa Speedway coming up July 10th for the Iowa Corn 300. He's the man behind the number 5 Schmidt-Peterson Motorsports IndyCar, and that is James Hinchcliff. How you doing, sir?
I'm very well, yourself?
We are enjoying another beautiful day in the Midwest, and we're excited to talk a little IndyCars with you. If you don't mind, let's, even though you're kind of a big name and a lot of people know about you, we primarily focus on dirt track and NASCAR, so a lot of our listeners know of you. They just don't know how you got your start in racing. So if you could give us the quick cover story on how James Hinchcliff ended up racing in the IndyCar series for Schmidt-Peterson Motorsports.
Man, I wish I knew. How exactly I got here, you know?
Did it just happen so fast? All of a sudden you're racing at Indy?
Yeah, basically I got a go-kart for my 9th birthday. I blinked, and then I was starting my first Indy 500. No, like a lot of kids, I started racing really young. I started at 9 years old in go-karts and primarily pavement, road racing kind of stuff, but stuck with it and started traveling all over the country and all over the continent for it, and moved into cars when I was 17, kind of moved up the ranks, got into Indy Lights back in 2009, did 2 years there, and then got my break with Newman Haas Racing in IndyCar back in 2011.
So was your career always kind of aimed at the IndyCar circuit, or did you ever have like NASCAR aspirations?
Growing up, it was always aimed at IndyCar because, I grew up in Toronto, and there's an IndyCar race right in the city, right downtown. It shuts down our streets for a weekend, and IndyCars come ripping around there. And my dad brought me to that for the first time when I was 18 months old. And so for me, I grew up really with that IndyCar influence. But, nowadays, I'll drive anything with four wheels, man. I'm dying to try and get behind the wheel of a stock car and try out some of that racing. And just like I said, anything with an engine and four wheels, I'll give it a whirl.
Talk to me about racing or going and watching those road course races. I've always kind of wondered. I've always watched IndyCars from pretty much afar. And whenever they're on TV, I try to catch them and keep up with what's going on. But that's kind of an interesting concept that is not new to anybody, but it's semi-new to me. Of when they go to Toronto, they shut those streets down. Is that a big pain in the butt for the locals?
Usually the first time a race comes to town, everybody's up in arms about the traffic and the inconvenience of it all. But usually once we get through year one and they see that it's actually not that bad and they see how great an event it really could be. To take these Indy cars that run 180 miles an hour down city streets that you're normally doing, 35 down, it's quite a spectacle. And so usually cities fall in love with it pretty quick.
Do they leave the speed limit signs up and you guys blaze by them and think, ha, fat chance?
Speed limit signs, traffic signs, all of them.
Is it ever confusing knowing which way to take? Because there's pretty much retaining walls that keep you on the path, right?
Yeah, it's hard to get lost, that's for sure.
Well, I'd find a way. Been racing in the IndyCar series for a couple of years now, made your way over to Schmidt Motorsports, and I think one of the big stories last year was that horrific accident at Indy. If you wouldn't mind kind of taking our listeners through your qualifying effort and then the accident that happened.
Yeah, well, we were practicing for the 500 last May, or May 2015, I guess, and just a normal old day at the Speedway, and in the middle of a run, I had a suspension failure right in the middle of the corner. And it launched me into the wall at about 225 miles an hour. And it was a 126 G impact, which is the largest recorded in IndyCar history. And as if that wasn't bad enough, well, the real damage was done by a piece of the suspension actually shot through the car and essentially went straight through my body. It basically, for lack of a better term, shish kebabbed me.
Oh my God!
And it nicked an artery, so there was massive blood loss. And I was minutes away from checking out, but thanks to the very, very quick action of the Homacher safety team who follows around the IndyCar series, where the safety workers are very experienced. Most of them are firefighters or EMS, and they got me out of the car, got me in an ambulance, and got me to hospital in enough time to be safe and sound and ready to get back to it the following year. And we come back to Indy a year later, and we managed to put the 5-car on pole for the 120th Indy 500. That was it was a pretty cool sort of full circle deal.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to ask. How big after the 2015 incident was the pole this year? It sounds like it was huge.
Yeah, I think pole at the 500 is always a big deal. I think pole for the 100th running was going to be extra special for anybody, but I don't think it meant more to anyone else in that grid than it did for us, to bounce back. 'Cause when something like that happens, it's not just me that's hurt. It's not just me that's affected by it. The whole team has to go through that emotionally together and, losing their driver for the rest of the season. And to come back together as a group, as a team, and accomplish what we did there was extra special.
After that wreck at Indy last year, that's a horrific accident that can really mess with the guy's head. Was there ever a thought of maybe I should hang this up and count my lucky stars?
Honestly, no. I think most drivers are, similar in the sense that we're all wired completely wrong, and we don't have that. We don't have that self-preservation gene that most normal human beings have. And, for me, honestly, a huge part of what made it so easy for me to come back and want to come back is that when I hit the wall, I obviously suffered a massive concussion, and I have no memory of the accident itself. I don't remember the extraction. I don't remember, essentially nearly dying. So for me, my last memory at the Speedway before I went back was just driving around in my car and everything was fine. So I tried really hard to disassociate all the pain and all the rehab and all the everything else that I went through, try to disassociate that from the track and from motorsports and just, focus on getting better and getting back behind the wheel.
We've talked to some other drivers about the fact that, when you're out there going 225 miles an hour, which is something that, the average person will never experience. But do you feel it's basically just like driving down the interstate because everybody is going that speed?
Well, it's certainly all relative. And, at a track like Indianapolis Motor Speedway, it's built for these cars. And built to do those kind of speeds. But, even when you are wheel to wheel with a guy like that and everybody's going the same speed, you definitely have an appreciation for, what you're doing and how fast you're going.
We're talking with James Hinchcliff, driver of the number 5 Schmidt-Peterson Motorsports car, getting you ready for the Iowa Corn 300 coming up July 10th at Iowa Speedway. James, Ryan Hunter-Reay has been someone that is incredibly difficult to unseat from victory lane at Iowa Speedway recently. What do you guys have to do besides maybe steal their fuel to get by him and get that win?
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I mean, the team obviously has an exemplary record here, but I witnessed that firsthand driving for them for a couple of years and taking the win in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
But the good news is I know what a good car around this track feels like. I know what it takes to win here, and so hopefully we can work together with the engineers at Schmidt-Peterson Motorsports and try and get a package that we can compete for the win with those guys with.
When do you guys arrive at the racetrack for that race weekend? What's your prep like?
Well, it's funny. I mean, I'm actually sitting outside the front gate as we speak.
No kidding. Oh, you're doing some
testing
some
on
PR
Wednesday.
work. Yeah,
Testing
that's right.
on Wednesday, I know.
We're actually testing on track tomorrow. So we'll be on track tomorrow, starting the prep, getting the cars ready, and trying to get the setup dialed in, and then we'll come back on Friday because it's a 2-day show for us, just Saturday, Sunday. So we'll come back in Friday next week and set everything up and practice and qualifying on Saturday and race on Sunday.
All right, buddy. We appreciate your time. It's been great talking with you, and we can't wait to see you July 10th at the Iowa Corn 300. Best of luck.
Good luck.
Thanks, guys.
And that's going to do it for turn number 2. We're going to come back in turn number 3. Dirk and I will be back taking your live phone calls, and we've got more of the front stretch to come. We'll be back here on AM 590, Omaha's ESPN Radio.
Are you looking to book your next outing? Look no further than Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs. Located just north of Bass Pro Shop, Joe's Karting can handle outings of well over 100-plus people. Bachelor parties, corporate outings, team building, birthday parties, and much more. Give Buddy a call today and reserve your outing. Joe's will even work with local restaurants to cater your event. Book yours today at joeskarting.com. That's karting with a K. It's time to get to Joe's and find out what everyone already knows.
My kind of road trip is a little different. Sure, it's got hours of driving with plenty of pit stops, but it's not for minivans. And this drive is one journey that's all about the destination. This is my road trip. This is my Speedway. July 29th, experience the NASCAR K&N Pro Series Casey's General Stores 150, presented by Vatterott College. July 30th is the NASCAR Xfinity Series US Cellular 250. Tickets start at $15 only at Iowa Speedway.
Feather the brake and get back to the gas. Dan and Dirk are headed into turn 3 on the front stretch.
Welcome back to the front stretch. Rolling into turn number 3. Still to come. Kentucky preview, more Iowa Speedway tickets to give away. We'll talk Pick'ems contests. But before we do all of that, let's get to the phone lines and talk with the man who is now taking out interest rates. He's going to be taking out a line of credit. So if you want to borrow some money,
$10,000 man.
you want to borrow some money, head over to Corning, Iowa. What's the interest rate you're going to lend me there, Jesse?
I don't know for sure.
No, I think the right answer is that money's actually already spent on the racing organization.
Yeah, we talked to Kelly there right before that race and told him might as well just sign that check over for a new car. He was pretty pumped up, I think, about that.
Was that Kelly Shryock?
Yep.
Are you running a Skyrocket chassis?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that the same chassis you ran last year at I-80 Speedway?
Yep. It's
Okay.
an older car. It's like a 2012. So.
Yeah, I think you. Were you telling me you got that from Jeff Jodersma?
No, I got it from Jeff James.
That's right, Jeff James. Okay. Well, let's talk about this win. You were down at the Aftermarket Nationals, a big modified feature. You had 66 modifieds on hand, which I think was a record for that track. And some pretty big names. Like you just mentioned, Kelly Shryock was there, Jordan Grabowski, Hunter Marriott. You were there. I think Abelson and Dylan Smith were both there, right?
I don't think either two of them were there. Dylan and Abelston. Yeah, but there was a ton of good cars there.
We'll talk about it. You started on the pole for Friday night's feature. It was a 225-lap race, kind of like the Charlie Clark Memorial, where you guys do your first 25 laps, then you take a break, and you guys could do some adjustments on the car. I think all they let you do in that first break was make fuel.
Yep, they won't let you touch anything else on the car besides for
just add
fuel in it.
How big is that track? Does that eat up a lot of fuel? Is that why they do that, or is that just kind of a way for you guys to get a little break?
I'm not for sure. I'd rather go all 50 laps, but I think it's alcohol. A lot of guys run alcohol, so I imagine they just stop it for that.
Okay. And you started outside row 1. What was your thoughts as you're kind of getting ready for that warm-up lap and taking some last few pace laps around the track?
Oh, I was all day Friday. It seemed like I knew I was going to start up there, and I was just pretty nervous all day. It seemed like, I didn't want to mess up or just nervous all day. It's pretty nerve-wracking, I guess, starting up there with that big money.
Did they invert you guys after that stop like they do at the Charlie Clark, or did you just keep your positions? It was just strictly an add fuel deal.
It's just strictly an add fuel deal. You keep your position, everything.
Okay, because I've been to Farley. It is a good sized track. I used to, as an official, I used to work the Yankee 100 every year up there with the Busch All-Star Tour, and that track was notorious for locking down. I mean, 8-10 laps in, after all the heats and everything, it was just one groove. It was rubbered down. Did it do that the other night?
Yeah, it kind of did. There's multiple grooves. There's at least 2 grooves in it. Last year, we were talking to Jordan there last year about it, and I started in the back, and he's like, "Don't waste no time getting up there." He goes, because it will rubber down. So, that helps out a lot to have somebody that's ran there before and tell you.
Yeah, it's just
kind of advice about that.
Just kind of a sandy surface, and it does. It eats tires. I mean, I can remember the first time I was there, and we were durometering right rears on the late models to make sure nobody was softening them up, and they were all durometered at like 80. They were like rocks, but they stayed on the car that way. But
I went up there. I had all fresh tires. They're all brand new, and I siped them all. And I went out for that second heat race, and I kind of chunked one out. And I don't know if that's what made me so nervous all day Fridays, worried about tires or what. So,
yeah. I saw on Facebook that you were a little sick to your stomach as Friday went on. You made yourself that nervous?
I think so. I didn't do a whole lot Friday.
So there's no need to ask if this is your biggest win?
Yeah, that's definitely the biggest win.
It didn't take you long to get to the start. Like I mentioned, you started outside row number 1, but after about 10 laps, you made your way to the front. How were you able to finally get around him? Was it kind of a battle for the lead, or were you kind of following him and just seeing how things were going?
Me and David, we ran side by side, I think, for most of the laps there. And, once I got out front, I was trying to conserve tires. And, I think a little ways into it, he got back up underneath me. I didn't really want to push the car very hard, but I knew I wanted to be on the pole for that second segment. So,
yeah, that was kind of my next question: was how were you getting worried as you were battling side by side with David Brown for that lead? Those first 10 laps, were you getting worried you were chewing your tires off?
Yeah, a little bit. Especially after I got back out front. I moved down a lane and really found that rubber, and you could just feel the car is just really working pretty hard. That's hard.
So then you had to come in for fuel. You got the lead, 25 laps left to go. You're talking about how nervous you were all day Friday. Was it amped up knowing you had just 25 laps to go before you could cash a 5-digit check?
Yeah, that was pretty. When we took the green flag there, I knew who was all starting right behind me. And, I knew where everybody was pretty much on the track. Jordan was right up there too, so he's always fast there.
Mm-hmm. Were you? I know you guys don't have rearview mirrors, but were you trying to peek behind you and see where these guys were running, or did you have a spotter telling you where they were at so you could keep an eye on them?
No, I didn't have nobody really telling me. There was a kid I wasn't for sure, but he was wearing a Hunter Marriott shirt, and he was kind of showing me what it was, but I wasn't for sure if he was telling me or because I knew Hunter was right behind me. So, and he came over. He's like, "I was telling you." So,
yeah,
that's pretty nice of them guys.
So, when you were out front, you said you were trying to take care of the tires. Was there anything specific you were doing, or just kind of not braking so hard and trying to feather the gas a little bit? What were you doing there?
Just trying to, keep the car as straight as possible. Not trying to slide it in or, just easy coming off and going in.
Well, you said you've got that $10,000 spent. Are you actually buying a new chassis from Skyrocket, or?
Oh, I'm not for sure yet. We're just gonna see here.
Well, because I talked to you about this last year with how much winning you're doing on that chassis. I don't know if buying a new chassis is a good idea.
Yeah.
Maybe just weld over the welds on this one or something.
This one's been working pretty good lately. I don't know.
I think you found one that for some reason just seems to work with your driving style, and it's let's stick with it for a while longer.
Yeah.
Are you like the NASCAR guys where you name your chassis?
No.
Don't you think she deserves a name now that she just won you $10,000?
Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
I think I'd call it 10 G's.
Yeah.
Hey, now I saw that they were billing this as an open motor special. Did they allow crates to run, or did it have to be an open motor?
It had to be an open motor.
That's cool. That's good.
Yeah,
I like
a lot of the aftermarket people that build, like World Product and Callie's and all them guys, they put a lot of money into it. So.
Well, I was going to say, I believe Keith Simmons still owns the track, does he not?
Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, he was an engine builder up in the Cup Series, so obviously he's got connections at all those places. But yeah, I know he got that track when what was that guy's name? Al Frieden. Was the promoter and track owner up there of that and West Liberty. But you ever been over to West Liberty? That's a fun track. Is that?
I haven't ever been over there trying to get me talked into it, but
it is a fun track. Big flat half miler.
Yeah, they pulled my intake, and so we had to go back to Des Moines and have that all put on this weekend. So
let's back up a little bit. Now you're in Victory Lane, and I don't mean to say anything negative, but are you just worried that they're going to find something, just one of those weird things to DQ you?
No, not really. I try to run as legal as possible. I don't know really where I would have been ever illegal at. Maybe a body rule, but that'd be the only thing.
So they were just checking for a roller cam when they pulled the intake?
They're checking for a roller cam, full of lifter, and everything like that.
Wow.
Well, man, you're $10,000 richer. And so what's next on your list? What's the next big race you want to hit up?
Oh, we'll just hit the ones probably around here, and maybe go out some other places, but we'll just have to see.
Hey, they got a little race coming up at I-80 that maybe you ought to go to, the Silver Dollar Nationals. You thought about that one yet?
Yeah, I'll be out there for that one.
That's only $5,000 to win, so
New format this year.
And somebody's got to find a way to beat
Rodney Sanders.
Yeah.
Yeah, those guys are. It's a different.
I think that guy just gets in his car. He's probably got a switch in there that he switches over to I-80 and he just goes out and wins.
Well, Jesse's got that. He's won plenty of times out there at I-80.
Yeah, with those guys, it's kind of a different deal. Them guys are really good, and it's just kind of a different kind of car. So.
Any thoughts of going USMTS or taking up to the next level, or are you going to continue to kind of run locally and just have a little fun?
For the rest of the year, I'll probably just run locally. I'd like to hit some more USRA, USMTS stuff, and we'll see what happens next year, I guess.
Well, congratulations, man. It's a big win for you. It's good to see a good guy like you get that money and somebody that doesn't win those big races often, and it will really help put a lot of money back into your program.
Yes, thank you.
All right, Jesse, have a good one.
Yep, thanks.
Good luck with the rest of the year, Jess.
Yep,
thanks.
So, again, that was Jesse Dennis, driver of the number 70 A-Modified throughout the area. Really nice guy. I love talking to him in the pits. He's one of those that's kind of – I've got about 4 or 5 guys in the pits that I always go down to and ask him about what – I can ask him about anything, and he's nice enough to answer it, even if it was probably a dumb question or just a question that points out that he made a mistake.
Yeah, I'm that nice to you. I tell you everything.
Yeah,
even if it's a dumb question.
No, you're not nice to me when you tell me. but
I just like the fact that he said he was still nervous just because he was starting on the front row of a big race. I think that's cool.
I like Jesse. He's just one of those good old guys. And it's nothing to say anything about like a Jordan Grabowski or a Dylan Smith, but those guys are used to winning because they win these big races quite often, a couple of times a year apiece. Jesse doesn't win these big things like that. He's kind of a humble, just I'm going to go out there and have a little fun, and it's good to see that the weekend warrior got himself a win.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. That was turn 3. Gosh, Show's rolling along. Actually, we got to stay into turn 3 because we've only got one more turn left to go in the show, and we got a half hour left to go. I was worried that we weren't going to have enough of the show. So, all right, let's talk. Let's give you another opportunity to win some tickets to Iowa Speedway for the Iowa Corn 300 402-573-0590. You could try to win another pair of tickets. You could try to win a pair of tickets and get yourself over to the ARCA race on Saturday. Grab yourself a hotel, come back on or get to the track early Sunday morning and experience everything that IndyCar has to experience that day on the track. I know you talked about there's an Indy Lights race before the IndyCar
I think
Series
that one
race.
starts at noon, I do believe. And like I said, they were supposed to have that Mazda Pro Series race in between those two, but didn't get enough entries, so they did go ahead and pull the plug on that. But and if I'm not mistaken, I was just looking at that press release. I believe that's green flag for the actual Indy cars is set at 4:35.
Yeah, that could be. Yeah, I thought I saw it at 4:15, but you have a habit of being more rider than I am.
And with the way those cars fly around that track, there is no reason that race should not be over in 2 hours.
It usually is. You know, the one year that I went over and we were delayed a little bit because of rain, so I think we got started at about green flag was supposed to be about 6 o'clock. We got started at about 8 o'clock, and so the race was over at about 10:15, and 2-hour drive home. It was kind of a late night for us to get back, but hopefully the weather holds out this year. The earlier start will help out, too, and we'll be home by 8:30, 9 o'clock. Oh, Bullet's back on the radio.
There we go.
Bullet's ready to go again. All right, Bullet, let's give you round number 2. Let's see if we can't get you over to Iowa Speedway. NASCAR or dirt track trivia?
I've got the trivia question for Bullet this time.
Okay.
Bullet?
Yeah, go ahead.
What is Dan's favorite beer?
Any beer.
That's pretty darn close.
Let's give him an actual racing question. By the way, it's Sam Adams. Just if anybody, I've already bought my 2 12-packs and I'm headed back to my parents' house tomorrow. Not one of them will be left by the time we leave on Sunday night. And
nobody else will drink any.
Nobody gets close to my Sam Adams.
That sounds like one hell of a good plan.
How close have you been following the Sprint Cup Series this year?
As much as I can. I don't get the Fox Sports 1. I missed quite a few races, and now it's back on NBC. I'm happier.
There you go.
Let's ask you this one. It's kind of a off-season big news story. What manufacturer did Front Row Racing switch to for the 2016 season?
Front Row. Gosh.
So basically, what kind of car does Martin Truex Jr. drive?
Chevy.
Oh, he switched from a Chevy
to a Toyota.
Damn it, I should know that.
That's why I threw that hint out there. He's running for Joe Gibbs for all practical purposes.
Yeah, man. Well, you gave me a chance anyway.
All right, well, keep trying. We got a lot more tickets to give away and a little show left to go.
All right.
Thanks for listening, buddy.
Later.
All right, let's head over to line number 2. I think we've got a Stan on the line. If it's an educated guess, I bet that's Stan Caesar. How you doing this morning, sir?
Hey, pretty good. How you doing?
Doing good. You guys got rained out last night at Eagle, right?
Everybody got rained out last night.
So did you actually get to watch a Cup race on Saturday night?
I did.
Wow.
I did. It was pretty amazing. And, I'd have to go. I haven't gone back and watched a replay of it yet, but just the initial feel, I think Casey Mears punted Tony Stewart.
You think so?
I think so. If you run it back and look at it, I think he touched him before that car ever got loose.
Well,
but anyhow, that's on another subject.
Yeah.
So we're between turns 2 and 3. Where are we?
We're on the backstretch, Stan.
All right.
But this might be Bristol. There might be a pit stall back here somewhere.
And I also, I didn't know if there was a bonus part 2 question. Sam Adams was Dan's favorite beer, but the Angry Orchard, I think, don't you drink that too? I think that's one of your favorites at the racetrack.
Yeah, that's my favorite at I-80 Speedway because we don't have Sam Adams. I'm trying to get Sam Adams at the racetrack, but Sam Adams isn't really a good hot summer day kind of a beer. It's more of a sit back and relax, have a steak with a cold surroundings. But
that sounds like our trip to Newton.
If it's cold, though, anything could be good.
True. Hey, there was a couple of drivers in the area. I'm glad you called in. Dirk and I were going to talk about this, but Cody Ledger got himself a win over the weekend, right?
Got a win up at Jackson, Minnesota. They had a big twin feature
special for the 360 sprints. Had a good field of cars on hand up there, and Cody picked up the win in that second feature, and had some mechanical problems in his heat race. Started dead last in the first feature. I think he raced his way up to fifth after starting 23rd or 25th or something like that. And then they inverted the top 12, so he started. I think he started seventh back in that second feature and raced his way up into the lead. And I guess it was a real nail biter there at the end. They had like 6 or 9 caution flags in the last 6 laps, or 6 caution flags in the last 9 laps. But it was a restart after restart after restart. And he had all the heat right on the back bumper there, but he managed to pick up the win up there. It's a big win for him.
Good for him. Good for him. Stan, we appreciate you calling in, bud. We got to get to some of these other winners.
One other quick one. Jack Dover also won the preliminary night down at the Steve King Memorial down at Dodge City Raceway.
Oh, really?
The $10,000. The final night yesterday was rained out, but they have postponed that till today. So I think everybody stayed over down there, and he'll be in the running for that. Jack has won that race 2 years previously, and he picked up the preliminary night victory on Friday night down at Dodge City. So wish him the best of luck.
Yeah, good for him. He seems to finally have that 53 back in victory lane frequently.
Yeah, that was win number 4 for him, he said.
They hit on a couple things, and I think they got it figured out now.
Stan, we appreciate your time, bud. Have a good weekend.
Good talking to you. You too.
Enjoy the holiday.
Let's head over to line number 3. Talk to Tim in Columbus. Tim, you're on the front stretch. How you doing this morning, sir?
Oh, just wonderful, gentlemen. Love you guys' show.
Oh, I appreciate it a lot. Are you ready to, you want to do some NASCAR or dirt track trivia?
Let's go NASCAR, please.
All right. How long you been a NASCAR fan?
Well, a long time.
All right.
A few years.
Quite a few years.
Go back to Dale Jarrett.
Okay. All right. Let's see.
At least you didn't say Ned Jarrett.
Let's ask you this question.
No.
It's kind of conducive to what we're going to talk about in turn 4, if that's any kind of a hint for you. What was the latest track to be added to the Sprint Cup Series circuit? What is the latest track to be added to the Sprint Cup Series circuit? Kentucky
Good
it
answer.
is.
Good job.
Hold on the line, Tim. You're going to get yourself a pair of tickets to go over to the ARCA race on Saturday and the Iowa Corn 300 on Sunday coming up next weekend at Iowa Speedway. Thanks for listening, Tim.
And even though you're a NASCAR fan, you are going to enjoy those Indy cars at Iowa.
Absolutely.
If you guys do me a favor and just leave DW off the Fox Sports telecast, it'd be even better yet.
And unfortunately, we don't have that power because we totally agree with you. We totally agree with you. That broadcast last night was so refreshing.
Oh, it was so nice.
It was wonderful.
Anyways, all right, Tim, thanks for calling. We got to head over to line 1 with Shane. Hang on the line, though. We're going to get your information, okay?
All right.
All right, let's head over to line number 1. Let's talk to Shane. And Shane's calling out of Greenfield. How you doing, Shane?
Good.
All right, Shane, we've got a couple of more tickets left to give away. Do you want NASCAR or dirt track trivia?
I'll go NASCAR.
Okay, do you want to do NASCAR math again?
Sure.
Again.
All right, do you know how to do NASCAR math?
A little bit.
All right, it's really simple. I'll tell you the driver name, a form of math, and another driver's name. So you have to remember what car number they drive, and then which form of math I told you. So if it's add, minus, subtract, divide, that kind of stuff, and then you tell me what driver number it equals. So for instance, the last one we did was Dale Jr., who drives the 88, was divided by Kevin Harvick, who drives the 4. 88 divided by 4, according to my calculator, is 22, and that's Joey Logano. So let's do one here. Oh, boy.
Okay, here's what we're going to do. Okay, nice simple math plan. If you had Brad Keselowski minus Jamie McMurray, who would you end up with?
No idea.
What car number does Brad Keselowski drive?
Thought it was the 2.
Okay.
What car number does Jamie McMurray drive?
The 1.
Okay.
2 minus 1 equals?
Jamie McMurray.
There you go. He likes to trick people up. I like to make it so easie for you guys, but
that question was totally easy. If you can't get 2 minus 1.
Although, if you take Brad Keselowski and Jamie McMurray, how do you get Jamie McMurray? Anyways, all right. We're overthinking ourselves this morning. It's a Sunday morning.
Let's give him another chance, then, Dano. You go ahead and pick it.
All right, we'll do another one for you. Chase Elliott minus Tony Stewart equals who?
Kevin Harvick.
Chase Elliott.
Okay.
What number's Chase Elliott?
24.
There we go.
Tony Stewart.
I got to rethink that. It's not.
Yeah,
Okay.
because he's not the 20 anymore.
He's not the 20 anymore. He's the 14.
Right.
Okay. So who's left?
The 10. I can't do the 10 now.
What's that?
I said I am not sure who even drives the 10 now.
Oh, really? All right. Well, hey, listen, we're going to try to give more tickets away in turn number 4, and maybe you can call back and try to win there, okay? Thanks for listening, Shane. Appreciate it, bud. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll come back in turn number 4. We'll preview Kentucky. We'll do a little bit of news and notes. By the way, the answer was
Danica Patrick.
my fourth favorite driver, I guess.
And yes, she was in the big one last night.
She was doing. Was she up there though early on? Well, I guess it's Daytona. That doesn't mean anything.
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, she was in the middle of the pack and got collected. She didn't start it this time.
Good. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back turn number 4. We got a lot more front stretch left to go. We'll be back here on AM 590 Omaha's ESPN Radio.
Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs has taken a page out of IFCA's rulebook and gone crate. These brand new low-emission engines will still have you white-knuckling it all through the Metro's fastest indoor facility. Joe's Karting is now friendly for all skill levels with their brand new Honda-powered engines. It's time to get to Joe's today and find out what drivers like Jack Dover, Shaylee Bate, and Andrew Kosiski have known for years. Located in Council Bluffs and online at joeskarting.com. That's karting with a K.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak and Lube.
Quaker Steak and Lube is the official watering hole for the front stretch and the best place to catch all the NASCAR action today. Open at 11 a.m. with delivery available to Council Bluffs.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak and Lube.
My kind of road trip is a little different. Sure, it's got hours of driving with plenty of pit stops, but it's not for minivans. And this drive is one journey that's all about the destination. This is my road trip. This is my Speedway. July 9th, experience the ARCA Racing Series 150 presented by Casey's General Stores. July 10th is the IndyCar Iowa Corn 300. Tickets start at $15 only at Iowa Speedway.
Dan and Dirk are live for one last corner. Give them a call now at 402-573-0590.
About 15 minutes left in today's front stretch. Want to make sure and say Happy Independence Day to everybody out there. Thank you to those that have fought for our independence and continue to protect us on our independence. Please stay safe. I am banking on all 10 fingers and toes making it back home Tuesday night.
There you go. Very important. Follow the directions on those fireworks. Believe me, there's a lot smarter people that write those directions on there than most of us.
And it's really alarming. I do this every couple of years. You get real loose and you think, I'll be okay. I'll stick in here and I'm going to light 3 or 4 fireworks in a row. And man, then one of those things hits you, and it's amazing how much damage a Roman candle, a bottle rocket, a mortar shell. I mean, a mortar shell is pretty severe, but how much damage those things can do to yourself.
And don't hold the Roman candle in your teeth. Not good.
Did you see the one? No, I'm not gonna. That's not friendly for radio. But there's a video going around of a guy who put a firework in a very sensitive area and thought he was funny, and then it slipped and started shooting him in the face. And so I think he probably ended up looking like the Hound from Game of Thrones. If anybody knows that show and watches it, then he's got a half-melted face. Okay, he probably looked like Two-Face from Batman. How's that sound? And he was a decent-looking guy.
I still have no idea what you're talking about.
I'll find the video and I'll show you after the show. It's frightening. But are you talking about the melted faces?
Yeah, I'm not a Game of Thrones guy, and I'm not doing the Batman thing. So
you haven't seen Two-Face with the... Even as old as you are,
what number did he drive? Tell me he drove number 6, and I'll probably figure him out. But if he didn't drive a car, I'm lost, dude.
All right, let's get to a couple of NASCAR
Unless he's
news
on
and
Street
notes.
Outlaws.
Actually,
was he on Street Outlaws?
No, he was not. But all right, let's try to give away more tickets to the Iowa Corn 300. We have 2 winners so far, right, Craig? 2 winners, or do we have 3? We have 2 winners. Okay, so we have 3 more pair of tickets left to give away before the show wraps up today. We're going to do our best. 402-573-0590. Bullet. Third time's the charm. Third time's the charm, buddy. We're going to get it easy. We're going to get you over to Iowa Speedway, and we're going to let you buy me a couple of beers. 402-573-0590 while we wait for Bullet to dial his phone. News. Let's talk about a couple of news and notes throughout NASCAR. Furniture Row Racing, who drives Toyotas, by the way, looking for Truex to stay, and that's good news. We've been hearing that those two are looking to stay together, and maybe even considering to add a second team, which could be very good for Front Row, as if, I guess, they're doing very well right now, but a second team's always a good thing to add because it's more data coming in.
Well, it's more data coming in. Obviously, Joe Gibbs would love him to have a second team.
Yeah.
I mean, that gives him 6, But Martin Truex.
Yeah, where do you go with that?
Huh? But Martin Truex is great PR.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not the machine that Danik is, but he is great PR. He is very well spoken. He's got a great story to tell.
And he's kind of an underdog that people love rooting for. Even though he's been at very good organizations, he's just had some weird things that happen to him.
Well, like this year, he was inventing ways to lose.
Yeah.
He had a real goofy string of luck the beginning of this year. He got his win, so he's going to be in the chase. I mean, he could not drive the next 7 races, and he's got enough points. He's going to be in the chase. I love listening to the guy talk after he wins. He's so humble. The story with his girlfriend and everything is so great. I just can't believe that, outside, they've got Bass Pro Shops on the car a lot of times. I just can't believe they can't land a full-time sponsor with that guy. It's just amazing that they can't do that.
Well, and I think one of it is that they really want Furniture Row as the primary sponsor for that car because that brings Furniture Row
a lot of national exposure.
Right, and that's something that, as a furniture company, they get probably a lot of traction out of that.
But I don't know how big Furniture Row is. I know they used to have a store here in Omaha. I don't know if they still do, but they're based out of Denver. I've seen their operation up there. When my brother was living there, we tried to go take a shop tour, but they only do shop tours on Thursday.
Well, we'll have to schedule ours for Thursday. Let's take a break from the news. We'll head over to line number 1, and we'll see. Third time could be the charm. Bullet joining us again. Bullet, are you ready this time?
I'm ready, buddy.
All right, we got to get you down this time. We got to do it. Let's see.
As long as my phone holds up, it's kind of on the jinx.
All right. Well, let's do this quickly. And I'm going to ask a question. I hope you got this one. I think it's easy. But what year did Dale Sr. win the Daytona 500?
Oh shoot! I just saw this on TV yesterday, man. Oh man.
So what year did he die in? He died in 01.
201.
Okay.
Yep, I was there.
He died in 01. He won the year before, I think.
What do you think, in 2000?
Yeah.
No, it's not 2000. Sorry, Bullet. All right. Listen, we're going to keep asking questions.
Okay.
We're going to get you these dang tickets. I think we've exhausted the amount of listeners that we have. So
okay, I got a question. How about a very easy NASCAR math? Okay, we're going to talk about some rookies here. You got Chase Elliott. And you minus Ryan Blaney. Who's racing?
I don't know. I don't know the number for Blaney. I know Elliott's.
He's driving for the Wood brothers.
Oh. You got 3.
Okay.
Who drives the 3?
Who drives the 3?
Dylan.
Yes.
There you go.
We'll take it.
Hey, I finally got it. Son of a gun.
Hang on the line. Craig's going to get your information. We'll get you your tickets. All right, bud? Yep. You still there, Bullet? All right. Let's put Shane on the line. Hopefully Bullet's phone didn't crap out on us.
Hopefully he'll call back.
Yeah. Shane, you're on the air. Where you at? Where are you calling from, Shane?
Stone.
Stone.
Stone. All right, Shane.
Stone, not Shane.
Stone. Sorry.
That's all right. It's actually spoon like the eating utensil, but I'll go by, hey, dude, you're on the phone. Go ahead.
All right, you got a chance at winning a pair of tickets. You want dirt track trivia or NASCAR trivia?
Oh, my. Hit me with the NASCAR. I'm equally bad at both, so go ahead.
Let's see. So there are several juniors that race in the Sprint Cup Series. Name another driver other than Dale Jr. that races in the Sprint Cup Series.
The thinking cap is not working. I'm going to say it's not Danica Jr. I know that.
Pretty damn close, though.
Is there a Martin Jr.?
Do you have his last name?
Oh,
You got the right driver. What's Martin's last name?
Is it a Kyle Martin?
No, it's not. His first name is Martin. What's his last name?
Oh.
All right, we're gonna have to move on, Stone. I'm sorry, bud.
All right, thanks anyway.
Thanks for listening. We'll go over to line 1 with an actual Shane. That's a Shane. Or was line 2 first, Craig? We're on line with Shane. I'm sorry. Craig's busy over there with the phone call. So, all right, Shane, you're on the air. How you doing, bud?
Well, is it Martin Truex Jr.?
That was the answer. He could have helped.
Unfortunately, that's not your question.
Shane could have helped.
I know.
Shane could have helped. Could have helped.
And Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is Danica Jr.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's one wears the pants, much like Delana and Kevin. All right, Shane, do you want dirt track trivia or NASCAR trivia?
We'll go NASCAR again.
All right. If I have a yellow stripe on the back of my NASCAR stock car, what does that signify to other drivers?
You're a rookie driver.
Good
Congratulations.
job.
You got that. Hang on the line, Shane. We're going to get you a pair of tickets to go over to Iowa Speedway next weekend. You got ARCA tickets and IndyCar tickets. We got one last set of tickets left to go, and let's put Tom on the air. So, Shane, don't hang up. We're going to go back. We're going to go over to Tom. Tom, you got our last shot of tickets and just a couple minutes left in the show. NASCAR or dirt track trivia?
Dirt track.
Tom, where are you calling from?
Omaha.
Great. Thanks for listening.
I'm a big Corning fan too, though.
Oh, good. We've been trying to get a couple of guys from Corning on the air, but we've just been so packed with interviews that it keeps getting delayed. But we're going to be going over there. It's Corning that does the Tradition, right?
Right. Yep.
Yeah, my cousin won that first year.
Oh, who's your cousin?
Daryl Gowdy.
Okay.
Cool.
All right, so you want to do some dirt track trivia? Let's see. Who won the 2016 FVP National Sprint League Championship?
Sprint League.
The NSLs, that was their debut season last year. Excuse me, not the 2016, the 2015. We're in.
Oh, I should have asked me a Bloomquist question.
I was going to, but I figured we better avoid Bloomquist.
I don't know nothing about this division you're talking about there.
Sprints. You don't know anything about sprints? All right.
Okay. World of Outlaws, I know a little bit. But
you know a little bit about the World of Outlaws. What is a good way to dope a tire? I'm just kidding. Let me see.
That was a Bloomquist question.
Yeah,
all right.
That was a Bloomquist.
We're running out of shows. We don't have any more on the lines.
Owens.
I'm going to give you an easy question. What year did Scott Bloomquist win his first Silver Dollar Nationals championship?
Whoa, what year?
Just
like 5 years ago.
We're only in our 6th annual, so there's been 5 winners.
And he's the first repeat winner.
Right.
Let's see. 2001? No, 2010?
No, it wasn't 10. It was 2014 he won his first one.
And won his second one in 15.
Sorry, Tom. We gotta end up the show. We appreciate you calling in.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Before we end the show, we got to preview Kentucky because that's next Saturday night. So the pickups contestants, make sure you make note before you head out.
Make sure you make huge note that Goodyear is bringing a tire that nobody has run on their car at that track. They decided to switch tires.
I ended up reading on that story. They ended up finding massive blistering.
Yep.
So they thought, oh boy, and we've talked to Goodyear before. That is a really quick move for Goodyear, and that's a risky move because it takes them 3 months to make enough tires for one race. So they've got to be very confident that this tire is going to work for them because they can't go and make any other tire before next weekend.
Well, but they have screwed up before. We had the IndyCar race, or the race at Indy a few years ago where it was 10 laps, change tires, 10 laps, change tires. But I don't think that's going to be the issue this time. I think they're actually going to go, and they didn't announce it, so I'm not sure. But my guess, again, so they have enough tires, is they're going to go with a tire that they've used at another track. It's not going to be a brand new tire.
Right. There's going to be some testing information behind it. All right. Kentucky next Saturday night on NBC. Again, make sure you tune in. It's going to be a great race, and we absolutely love our friends over at NBC having the broadcast back. We'll do it again next weekend. We're going to be live recapping the action from Kentucky. We'll continue to preview the Iowa Corn 300 and so much more. We appreciate you joining us here on the Front Stretch. We'll be back next weekend on AM 590, Omaha's ESPN Radio.
Are you looking to book your next outing? Look no further than Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs. Located just north of Bass Pro Shop, Joe's Karting can handle outings of well over 100-plus people. Bachelor parties, corporate outings, team building, birthday parties, and much more. Give Buddy a call today and reserve your outing. Joe's will even work with local restaurants to cater your event. Book yours today at joeskarting.com. That's karting with a K. It's time to get to Joe's and find out what everyone already knows.
My kind of road trip is a little different. Sure, it's got hours of driving with plenty of pit stops, but it's not for minivans. And this drive is one journey that's all about the destination. This is my road trip. This is my Speedway. July 9th, experience the ARCA Racing Series 150 presented by Casey's General Stores. July 10th is the IndyCar Iowa Corn 300. Tickets start at $15 only at Iowa Speedway.